Hey friend, I'm Dr. Zarowski from NuVisionExcel.com, and in this video we're going to discuss the topic, what is a cellular detox? Many people are familiar with detoxing, but they're not familiar with detoxing correctly and detoxing at a cellular level. We live in a very toxic environment and sick world. Chronic illness is so prevalent today, and the reason for so much chronic illness is really we're starting at that root cause of cellular inflammation. And when we have chronic inflammation in the body, it leads to all kinds of diseases such as cancer and heart disease, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you how to reduce cellular inflammation, chronic inflammation at a cellular level in order to keep yourself healthy for a lifetime and also reduce the risk of an inflammatory disease. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about the cells right here. So in order to know what a sick cell is, you have to know what a healthy cell is. So let's go ahead and start with that. And I'm going to show you what a healthy cell is and then what it looks like when it becomes sick and how the detox process is so important in order to actually make this sick cell healthy once again. So let's jump in. A healthy cell has something called a lipid bilayer around it, and that layer allows for good nutrients to get in, but it also allows for toxins to get out of the cell. A healthy functioning cell also has a good healthy mitochondria within it. Mitochondria are the power plant within the cell, and when the power plant's functioning correctly, it's producing lots of ATP, which essentially is giving you lots of energy for your body to do all the different processes it does on a regular basis, but also give you the energy to feel good and just to function well. And then also a good healthy cell has good levels of glutathione, and it also has a healthy functioning DNA. Now, in turn, and the complete opposite of that, we have a sick cell. And let's talk about the sick cell, because this is what's important. This is when people have cellular inflammation, this is what's going on. They have a sick cell that's not functioning correctly, okay? So remember that cellular membrane we talked about? So on a sick cell, what happens is toxins attach themselves all around the cell, okay? Think of these different little toxins all around the cell being the processed foods, the processed sugars, the saturated fats, the food coloring in your food, the chemicals that you're using in your home, the chemicals in the workplace. You get the point, okay? All these different toxins are coming into your body and they're attaching to the cell membrane. Once that happens, the cell membrane becomes inflamed. This lipid bilayer becomes inflamed all the way around. When that lipid bilayer is inflamed, those good nutrients like we had up here going into the cell, same thing, those good nutrients try to go in, they can't get in. The next big problem, the toxins that are trying to come out of the cell, they're stuck, they can't get out. The cell then becomes more of a cesspool than anything else. So once the cell becomes toxic, the cell becomes sick because it's not getting healthy things in and it's not getting the toxins out, it affects the mitochondria, okay? So the mitochondria becomes inflamed. The mitochondria doesn't produce adequate levels of ATP, so we have a negative amount of ATP in the body. That's why your body doesn't have the energy to do the different processes it does on a daily basis in order to keep you feeling well, in order to keep you healthy, because the energy is completely depleted. The other thing that happens is we have a decrease in glutathione. Glutathione is this master antioxidant in the cell that keeps the cell healthy. When the cell has decreased glutathione, then what happens is it can't function properly. And as a matter of fact, if you have depleted glutathione, the cell will actually die in a process called apoptosis. Now, when I work with a lot of very sick individuals, I almost always find depleted glutathione levels. So the key is not only to get that glutathione back in the body, but also get it into the cell. And then last if not least, what happens in a toxic cell is the DNA can become mutated. When the DNA becomes mutated, the cells are inflamed. This is when cancer starts to present itself. This is when heart disease starts to present. So, you know, with the cellular inflammation, we got diabetes, we have all these different conditions that are associated with chronic inflammation. And so in order to actually get this cell healthy, what we have to do is we have to fix this cell membrane, okay? And in order to fix the cell membrane, we have to stop the onslaught of toxins. So when we want to stop the onslaught of toxins, that means we need to start eating better. We need to start getting the toxic chemicals out of our life and out of our environment. We need to start making changes in our lifestyle, essentially. Once we make those changes, what happens from there is we're going to have these toxins coming into attaching to the cell on the regular basis anymore. We're going to fix this cell membrane. We're going to restore this cell membrane by putting the proper nutrients in, okay? And then what's going to happen too is we're going to raise glutathione levels. We're going to work to restore cellular energy. As a result of taking all these different components of cellular healing into consideration, we are going to kick those toxins off the cell, okay? And so then the question becomes, what happens then? After we kick these toxins off the cell, where do they go? And this is very important because if we don't pay attention to this, more or less step 2 in the process, essentially what happens is we retoxify ourselves and we just continue to become sick. So what we need to do is kick these toxins off the cell, and when we kick them off the cell, they're going to dump into the duodenum of the gut through what's called the bile, okay? And when we kick those toxins off and they go into the gut, what we need to do is we need to capture them. So what we do in the step 2 of the process of cellular detoxification is we capture these toxins by taking an agent that will actually attach to the toxins, and then from there they'll go out of our body and we'll excrete them, okay? So step 1 is restoring proper cellular function and kicking the toxins off the cell, and then step 2 is going to be attaching to these different toxins and removing them from the body. And essentially then we get a healthy cell, and we have proper energy in the body. We have proper cellular energy. We have proper glutathione levels. Our DNA is functioning well. We're getting nutrients in the cell. We're kicking those toxins out of the cell, and essentially from there, now we have a healthy functioning cell. Now we feel good. Now we have energy on a daily basis. We don't have the brain fog anymore. And of course, last but not least, we reduce cellular inflammation, we reduce chronic inflammation, we reduce the risk of chronic disease. Below this video, what I'll do is I'll post a link to an article that I wrote where I went in depth on this whole cellular detoxification process. And I'll also put a link to the different products that we use. You know, we use a 2-step product that is designed to kick the toxins out of the cell, heal the cell, and then a product that's designed in order to bind the toxins in the gut. I'll put a link to that too, so you can go ahead and check it out. And last if not least, if you've ever done a detox before, I'd love to know what it was and what your results were. And if you think that a detox is right for you, post in the comments below. Let's get a conversation started. And I'd also like to help you excel your health and excel your life. So make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the little bell notification so that you don't miss any of our future videos.